Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com. Well, you see this background, you know what time it is. Must be Friday night, and time for another installment of my weekly movie review with yours truly. So this week, busted out a new release. Just came out not that long ago. I actually wanted to see it when it was in theaters, but another one I didn't get around to. I just didn't. Being injured for so long really took, a chunk out of my time that I was able to go see a lot of movies, especially ones that weren't in theaters for that long like this one. But I'm a big fan of Jake Gyllenhaal, so I actually really did want to see this. Well, not a big fan. I like him. I think he's a good actor. We'll say that. And I'm speaking of Love and Other Drugs, also starring Anne Hathaway, Oliver Platt, Hank Azaria, and Judy Greer. Now, the movie takes place back in, I believe it's 1996, just when Zoloft and Prozac and a lot of those other drugs were really being not just introduced, but were becoming, kind of staples, if you will, in America. It follows around the life of a young up-and-coming, through a couple accidental detours in the job market, drug rep. And it's cool because it's very well set back in the 90s. And for another thing, apparently drug reps are right up there with poker pros and rock stars in terms of living the jet-setting, partying nonstop, picking up every woman that breathes type of lifestyles, I guess. Notice how I threw poker players in there. Yeah, professional ones. I'm not there yet. But it follows as Jake Gyllenhaal and Oliver Platt are trying to break Zoloft into the market with, inner doctor circles instead of Prozac. And it actually is it's well written. So a lot of the discussion about prescriptions that really, I don't care about that. It actually was well done. So a lot of the writing is pretty clever, and Oliver Platt plays a great character. One of the doctors that they are trying to convert is played by Hank Azaria, and he is by far the star of the movie. He is hilarious, and turns out by the end of the movie, he's really just an oversexed, live, one day at a time type of guy, and it's really pretty funny. While he's out making his rounds, Jake Gyllenhaal meets Anne Hathaway's character, who we progressively find out is suffering from Parkinson's disease. Very early onset, obviously, as she's, just in her 20s. And seeing their chemistry as it begins is really pretty captivating. It is good to see when so many movies these days, it almost seems like the actor and actresses, the lead, have no chemistry at all and are just wooden. They're just mailing it in. So they actually had some pretty good chemistry. And instead of it just being a typical rom-com, they actually tried to delve deeper into more of a serious aspect, that being, not only her suffering from Parkinson's, but how that affects her not just physically, but emotionally, and how that in turn affects Jake Gyllenhaal's character. And it's cool because it builds you up. It actually has a really good arc of the story. And at one point, it then delves into the announcement of Viagra. And that's actually really cool seeing that, because when I was younger, when Viagra actually did hit the market, when I was like 12 or 13, it wasn't something that, I knew much about. So it's kind of cool seeing that aspect of it. And they did a really good job at recreating it. Of course, they added some Hollywood, over the topness to it, to the, fever that, and, hit everybody. You had to get Viagra. But it was pretty cool to see. But it did have some very blatant rom-com points. It had some very blatant, all right, I know what's going to happen next. But it also did have a few moments that kind of, caught you off guard. Not completely off guard, but a little bit off guard. And it was cool that they did want to actually make it more than just a typical, rom-com. He meets her, they get mad, they get happier, they get back together. There was more to it. Judy Greer actually had a really cool part as well. It was a small part, and she plays one of the office assistants. And it was well done. I won't say it was a great movie. It's not one that I'm ever gonna buy or I feel I ever need to see again. But I would say it's worth $1 at Redbox. I give it 3 stars, and I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great, but it's definitely average. So I give it just an average 3 stars. And it's a way to kill, a couple hours. It does go, like I said, a little bit deeper than just the surface, but it definitely doesn't go too deep. So it's a little bit more than what you see, but you're not going to be, sitting there for days trying to, get through your mix of emotions or anything. It's definitely a pretty surface. If yours is surface, it's here. How about that? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you guys like my review, if you think it was, if you think the movie was great, if you didn't like it at all, if you think my 3 stars was too many or too few, let me know. I would love to hear. So hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think. So this, again, was my couch, Friday night, a weekly movie review with Matthew Maley. And I am Matthew Maley. So thank you very much for checking out my videos. Please go check the rest of them. I'd love it if you guys could like this, comment on this, and subscribe it on YouTube. I'd love it if you guys would add me on Facebook at Matthew Maley Poker. Follow me on Twitter, and I will follow you back at Matthew Maley. And finally, MatthewMaley.com. So hopefully you guys are on there right now. And if you're watching it on MatthewMaley.com and you have a couple extra seconds, click up on the upper left corner, and that'll take you over to YouTube where you can subscribe, comment, and like it. So thanks again for checking out my videos. Definitely appreciate it. Once again, this week I reviewed Love and Other Drugs and give it 3 stars. So let me know what you think. Peace out, y'all.